the first calendar ever created, long before clocks, long before numbers, and long before history was written. Humanity faced one of its greatest challenges: time. The sun rose and set, the moon changed shape, seasons shifted, animals migrated, and crops either flourished or failed. Early humans knew that survival depended on understanding these patterns, and from this deep need to track time, the world's first calendar was born. The very first calendars were not written on paper or carved into stone tablets. They existed in the sky. Our ancestors looked upward and noticed something extraordinary. The moon disappeared and returned in a regular cycle, roughly every 29 days. It completed its journey from full moon to darkness and back again. This was the earliest unit of time ever recorded by humans, long before days had names or years had numbers. People counted moons. Hunter-gatherer societies relied on the moon to plan hunts, migrations, and rituals. Some of the oldest artifacts ever discovered bone fragments dating back over, believed to represent lunar cycles. These were not decorations. They were humanity's first attempts at measuring time, marking the passage of nights and remembering when important events occurred. But the moon alone was not enough. As humans began farming, time became more dangerous to misunderstand. Plant too early and crops would die. Plant too late and famine would follow. Farmers noticed that the sun's position changed across the year. Days grew longer, then shorter. The sun rose at different points on the horizon. Seasons returned again and again in a predictable loop. This discovery changed everything. Around 10,000 years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia, Eroxim of the earliest civilizations began creating structured calendars. The Sumerians are widely credited with developing the first true calendar system. They combined lunar months with solar observations, creating a year that attempted to match both the moon's cycles and the sun's seasonal rhythm. Their year contained 12 lunar months, with extra days occasionally added to realign the calendar with the seasons. Time was no longer just observed, it was controlled. Calendars became tools of power. Kings used them to decide when taxes were collected, when wars began, and when religious festivals were celebrated. Priests guarded calendar knowledge carefully, because predicting eclipses and seasonal changes made them appear divine. To control time was to control society. Meanwhile, in ancient Egypt, the calendar took another leap forward. The Egyptians noticed that the annual flooding of the Nile River always followed the rising of a specific star Sirius just before dawn. This event marked the beginning of their agricultural year. Based on this observation, the Egyptians created one of the most accurate calendars of the ancient world, a 365-day solar calendar. Their year was divided into 12 months of 30 days, with 5 extra days added at the end, days dedicated to the birth of gods. This system was so precise that it lost only 1 day every 4 years. Remarkably, this ancient Egyptian calendar became the foundation of the calendar we still use today. But Egypt was not alone. Across the world, civilizations were solving the same problem in different ways. In ancient China, calendars were created based on both lunar phases and solar movements, ensuring harmony between heaven and earth. In Mesoamerica, the Maya developed extraordinarily complex calendars, capable of predicting celestial events centuries in advance. Their understanding of time was so advanced that it still amazes modern astronomers. To these civilizations, time was not just a measurement. It was sacred, cyclical, eternal. Yet calendars were never perfect. Lunar calendars drifted away from the seasons. Solar calendars ignored the moon. Adjustments were constantly needed. By the time of the Roman Empire, the calendar had become chaotic. Political leaders added or removed days to extend their rule or shorten rivals. Terms, in 45 BCE, Julius Caesar attempted to fix time itself. With the help of Egyptian astronomers, he introduced the Julian calendar, establishing a 365-day year with a leap day every 4 years. For the first time, time became standardized across a vast empire, but even that wasn't perfect. over centuries. Tiny errors added up. By the 1500s, the calendar was out of sync with the seasons by 10 days. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar, correcting the drift and creating the system the world follows today. And yet, at its heart, our modern calendar is still ancient. It is built on the same observations our ancestors made thousands of years ago, watching the moon rise, the sun shift, and the seasons return. The first calendar was not invented by one person or one civilization. It was discovered slowly, patiently, by humanity itself. Time was written in the sky long before it was written on stone. Every date we check, every birthday we celebrate, every year we welcome is connected to those first humans who looked up and asked a simple question: when will this happen again? And in seeking the answer, they changed the world forever.